Hello students, today we are going to discuss a very important topic for you for ENT for undergrad students as well as postgrad students or residents of ENT around the world, and that is tympanometry. Tympanometry confuses a lot of medical students, and today we are going to discuss it in detail so that your concepts are very clear about it. Tympanogram or tympanometry, it is a very useful investigation and it can help us in diagnosing different conditions after we are done with basic ear examination and pure tone audiometry and the tuning fork tests. So this will aid in diagnosing different conditions. So what is actually tympanometry? Tympanometry is an electronic and acoustic measurement technique that is used to assess the middle ear condition. As we have seen in this diagram, you can see that there is a probe that is fitting in the external auditory meatus, and it is fitting so that there is no air leak around this probe. Otherwise, it will give us false results. So what is in the probe? We need to know this. First of all, there is an oscillator that produces a single frequency sound, and this frequency is 220 Hertz. Then the second part is the air pump. An air pump, what does it do? It varies the pressure in the external auditory canal, and this will help us in analyzing the compliance and elasticity of the tympanic membrane. The third thing is the mic. This mic picks up and measures sound pressure level that is reflected from the tympanic membrane. When we introduce sound in the external auditory canal, it reaches the tympanic membrane. Then this air pump, it actually varies the pressure in the external auditory canal that have an effect on the tympanic membrane. And then there is a mic that picks up the sound pressure level that is reflected off the tympanic membrane. We can see it in detail in this diagram. You can see that there are mainly two things going on. There's a changing air pressure that results in first lateral movement and then medial movement of the TM, and it will alter the compliance of the TM. So what is compliance and what is elasticity? Compliance is the ability of the body to stretch as much as it can. This is the measure of compliance. And what is elasticity? It is the ability of the body to come back to its original shape once it is stretched. So these two properties, they are opposite properties of any body. So here, the compliance of the tympanic membrane is altered once the air pressure is changing. So how much variation of the air pressure is occurring in this canal? That is from the maximum value is plus 200 delta pascals and the minimum one is minus 400. As you can see on this tympanogram, you can see that the air pressure that is plotted on the x-axis and maximum value is plus 200 and the minimum value is minus 400. Then the intensity of the tone that is reflected off the TM and traveling back to the probe changes with the compliance of the TM. So the compliance is plotted on the y-axis. Y-axis has compliance of the TM As you can see that the compliance of the TM that is maximum when there is no pressure, no negative pressure and no positive pressure. This is the compliance peak. It is formed at 0 delta pascals. This reflected tone that is recorded by a microphone in the probe and its intensity is measured and graphed as a function of the air pressure in the ear canal. So how is the normal tympanogram? How is the normal tympanogram? What does it look like? The best movement of the drum is witnessed when there is no extra pressure on either side of the TM. The best movement of the drum is when there is no extra pressure on either side of the tympanic membrane. So, the compliance of the tympanic membrane that will be maximum at 0 pressure level. The peak is at 0 delta pascals. As you can see here, this tympanogram is a normal tympanogram and we call it type A tympanogram. So everyone should remember that type A tympanogram is a normal tympanogram. But there are subtypes of the type A tympanogram that will not be normal. So why are they not normal? And what diseases do they predict? We will see. For this tympanogram, this is the type A-D tympanogram. If you want to remember it, if you want to recall it, you have to remember that this is the type A-D tympanogram and D is for disruption. Disruption of what? Of ossicles. Okay, so if a patient has type A-D tympanogram, it means that his diagnosis is ossicular disruption. Ossicular disruption, it can occur as a result of trauma to the ossicles. It's an unusually high peak at 0 delta pascals. Unusually high peak, it means what? It means that there is no force that is causing the tympanic membrane to stretch. So its compliance will be unusually high compliance. Then there is type AS tympanogram. AS, like AD, D for disruption, ossicular disruption. AS is for stapes fixation, or you can say otosclerosis. Now, as you study it in more detail, otosclerosis is a form of disease where there is unusually high calcification areas. They are present in the footplate, around the footplate of the stapes. In this condition, there is unusually low amplitude on the tympanogram. It means that the compliance of the TM has become unusually low. So the footplate of the stapes that is not moving medially in the oval window. So if you see a type AS curve, it shows that a patient has otosclerosis.